Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you for coming to my channel. And today I'm going to entitle this video because I thought this is a pretty interesting topic to do. And I think we all have this particular list, even though we sometimes don't want to admit that we do. But we have a list of songs that makes us cry. You know, when you hear these songs, it brings back a certain memory. It just draws an emotion out of you, and it just kind of makes you break down. And I was going to do a top five, but I've actually only was able to come up with four. Now, there's some other ones kind of put me in the melancholy mode, but I'm talking about the ones that actually bring tears to your eyes when you listen to them. So I'm going to briefly go through my top four. I'm going to start from number four to number one, and I'm going to give you a brief reason why these songs particularly touches me in that way. So the first one is, and this is a song that I don't think a lot of people heard, and I'm going to actually leave a link down here because everybody needs to hear this song. It's from an artist by the name of Montel Jordan. His first big hit was This Is How We Do It. And I believe he's doing a lot of stuff in the ministry now. And it came off of his first album. It wasn't a single release, but it was on the album with CD. And the name of it was called Daddy's Home. And the reason why that song particularly touched me is because the title and the theme. And it's a thing that most of us don't talk about, what we really need to talk about, because this is the reason, or the root cause of a lot of these crimes that we see in our streets now between young black men and the police. And it's about a man who comes back who hadn't spent time with his son growing up. And it's kind of a duet. It's kind of unique. The Montel character is the dad, and it's a young guy singing, and they singing together. It's like a ballad. And Montel tells him why he wasn't there. He wanted to be, but there was reasons that he wasn't allowed to be. And the son is like, I'm trying to understand this because I really needed you during that time of my upbringing, and you just wasn't there. So they're trying to bring it back together. And it's a very touching song because me and Joe Spencer do a lot of public speaking in prison facilities. We talk to these young men who made one dumb mistake in their life, and sometimes it's going to cost them their whole life. And it's just so unfortunate. And there's a question after I do my presentation at these events. I would come out and meet these young men and shake their hands. And I would always ask all of these guys this question. And about 97% of the guys answered it in this way. They said, no. I said, let me just ask you a personal question if you don't mind. Was your father in your home while you were growing up? No. My dad never lived with me. In most cases, my dad or my mom never married each other. I don't even know my dad. I don't even know where he's at. This is the root cause of all this crime. All these young black guys killing each other and the police killing them. You know, if we can kind of get a handle on that, things would change, because, and I'm not going to get into this because this could be a whole topic within itself. But, in Chicago, my hometown, it's this big issue about how they are, trying to get another police chief, and it's going to curb the crime. And that's not the problem. The problem is we got a lot of young, unguided black men in the neighborhood that are getting in trouble. We got to fix that problem. You can go out and get 20,000 police superintendents, and it's not going to really change too much. That's the main problem. If we can get our young men out of the street and not be in the wrong place at the wrong time and having racist police harass and kill them, crime would drop tremendously, but I'm not going to really go into that. But I thought I would mention the reason why this song touches me so deeply because, it's about the lack of the father figure in the black family. So number three. Alone Again by Gilbert O'Sullivan. And what's interesting about music to me is when you listen to music, it has a memory attached to it, especially if it's a song that you haven't heard in 20 years. And when you hear like, oh, I remember where I was in life during this time, and I remember that song. And I remember this song because my brother used to love to sing around the house, and he used to sing it all the time. And I remember some of the lyrics, and I think it's about somebody growing up and their perspective on growing up and the people that were very important to them, like their parents, when at some point in time, unless you leave first, that you have to deal with that you got to deal with the loss of your parents. And I think that's kind of the main theme of that song. And it's just so lyrics beautiful, the music, the mood, it kind of puts you in that mood, that you think about, well, when my time come, I'm going to feel that way too. Number two. And before I even say this, well, you know what, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say this. And I'm sure this song is going to make everybody's list. And to me, if I did a compilation of the world greatest songs, this to me, this is my personal opinion, and that's all. It would be probably the most beautiful song ever written. I'm gonna give you guys a second to think about that because I think you're gonna be able to fill in that blank. Here it is, "Ribbon in the Sky" by Stevie Wonder. I think one reason why this song does that to me and a lot of people is it's a song that you relate to, or this is a song that's always tied into weddings or funerals. And of course, most of us cry at both of those. So whenever you hear this song, and a lot of times it's in that setting, and it's just a beautiful song. I think Stevie Wonder just captured a certain essence on that particular song. It's like it's just magic. And you know, I just recently lost a family member, and matter of fact, it just came from a memorial 2 days ago, and they played that song there, and it was appropriate for that particular, event. And when I think about that song, I think about all the weddings I went to, tears of joy, all the funerals I went to, tears of sorrow, and it just captured that mode or that memory. Number one, and I think a lot of people have this one on the list too, or at least a lot of brothers and sisters, because we watched the movie My Generation, and this song was in this particular movie. And the movie is called Coolie High. And the name of the song is "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye" by G.C. Cameron. Now, most people know the version that Boyz II Men did, which was like 20 years later. But the original, and I'll leave a link down here too so you guys can listen to the original. If that song wasn't even in the movie, it still would kind of have that effect on you because it's just a beautiful song. But what makes it even more, beautiful and heartfelt is it was in the movie, and it was around the scene where one of the main characters, played by Lawrence Hilton Jacobs, the character name was Cochise, and Cochise died in the movie at the end. And it's like, oh, we didn't want that. We love Cochise, and he died. And the circumstances around his death was this: him and his best friend, had fallen out because Cochise is kind of a whore, and he was sleeping around. And at some point in time, he had slept with his best friend's girl, or ex-girl, might have been his girl at the time. So big falling out. And long story short, there was some big guys coming to look for Cochise's friend. And Cochise found out about this in spite of him having a falling out, and he went to his friend's aid. And they didn't find his friend. They actually found Cochise, and they beat him to death. He accidentally died. So it was a tearjerker. It was, it's up there with Cornbread Earl and Me. They shot Cornbread. It's one of those scenes. But that particular song they played at his funeral, Cochise's funeral, and I don't think there was a dry house in the house when I seen that movie at the show. So I'm gonna wrap this up because my phone is ringing whenever I'm trying to do something. Somebody calling me. But until next time, I hope this has been entertaining, and take care, and thanks for watching. What the fuck?